Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
All right, well today we're going to plunge into the depths of Zealandia. It's this lost continent hiding right under our noses.
Really? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, you might be thinking, wait, a lost continent? How did we miss that?
Yeah, how is that
Well,
possible?
get this, it's mostly submerged beneath the Pacific Ocean.
Wow. I mean, I know the ocean is huge and all, but still, a whole continent. How big are we talking?
Okay, so get this. It's roughly the size of India, just lurking beneath the waves.
No way! That's incredible.
Isn't that wild?
Totally.
And here's the kicker. It was only formally recognized as a continent in 2017.
Seriously? That recently?
I know, right?
Yeah.
2017. So that begs the question, what exactly is Zealandia, and how did we not know about it for so long? I mean, people have been sailing the Pacific for centuries.
Yeah. That's a great question. Well, for this deep dive, you've given me two really cool sources. One is a scientific overview that lays out all the hard facts about Zealandia, and the other is a fictional account that imagines a civilization called Ataria that may have existed there.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we've got science and a little bit of fiction. Love it. Where should we start?
Let's start with the science. So Zealandia is a massive chunk of continental crust, like totally distinct from Australia, even though they were once connected.
Okay, so we're not just talking about some random underwater plateau. This is legit continent stuff.
Absolutely. Geologists have confirmed it has all the hallmarks of a true continent: distinct rock types, thicker crust than the surrounding oceanic crust, and it sits on its own tectonic plate.
Wow. So how did it end up underwater?
So it broke away from the supercontinent Gondwana about 85 million years ago.
Gondwana. Wow, going way back.
I know, I think dinosaurs roaming around.
Yeah.
And as it drifted, tectonic shifts and rising sea levels caused most of it to sink beneath the waves.
So it's like a continent took a dip in the ocean and just never fully came back up.
Yeah.
And we only just figured this out a few years ago, talking about hidden treasure.
Right.
But if most of it's underwater, how did scientists even discover it?
That's where things get really interesting. You see, scientists had been piecing together clues for decades. Like they noticed that New Zealand and New Caledonia, which are part of Zealandia, sat on unusually thick crust. And then there were hints in the surrounding seafloor, unusual rock formations, magnetic anomalies, things like that. But it wasn't until they started using really sophisticated sonar mapping and satellite data that they were able to see the full picture.
So it took modern technology to reveal this ancient secret. That's pretty incredible. So what kind of things are they finding down there? Is it just a barren underwater wasteland? Or are there any signs of life?
Oh no, it's far from barren. Think of it as a giant time capsule, preserving a record of Earth's history. Scientists are finding all sorts of amazing things down there: fossils of ancient land plants and animals, evidence of volcanic activity, even remnants of mountain ranges. It's like a whole lost world waiting to be explored.
Okay, now I'm picturing a whole Jurassic Park situation under the sea. Ancient creatures roaming around, volcanoes erupting. This is why I love these deep dives, always taking us to the most unexpected places. So Zealandia is basically a giant underwater museum of Earth's history. But what about human history? Could there have been people living on Zealandia before it sank?
That's where the fictional account of Ataria comes in. And remember, this is a thought experiment, not historical fact, but it's a fascinating one nonetheless. So according to this account, the Atarians were a civilization that thrived on Zealandia thousands of years ago. They were master mariners, skilled stoneworkers, and their culture was deeply intertwined with the ocean.
Okay, I am intrigued. Tell me more about these Atarians. What were they like? What kind of society did they have?
Well, the account describes them as having this deep reverence for the ocean, which they called Valoa. They believed it was this living entity that provided them with knowledge and resources. Their architecture, supposedly, mimicked the ocean's forms. Like, imagine temples and palaces crafted from limestone and coral, shaped like reefs and cliffs. Isn't that a beautiful image? Their architecture reflecting their connection to the sea.
It's a captivating image, for sure. But how does this fictional account tie in with these scientific facts about Zealandia? Is there any basis for believing a civilization like this could have existed?
That's where things get really interesting. The timeline of Ataria's supposed rise coincides with a period of lower sea levels after the last ice age. So more of Zealandia would have been exposed back then, potentially creating land bridges and making it more plausible for a civilization to have emerged.
Ah, so the fiction is playing nicely with the scientific facts here. It's not just some random, outlandish story. It's grounded in some geological realities. This is what makes these deep dives so fun, blending fact and fiction to spark our imaginations and challenge our perspectives.
Exactly. And, there are some intriguing parallels between the fictional account and what we know about real cultures in the Pacific. For instance, the Atarians' reverence for the ocean as Valoa echoes the profound importance of the sea to Polynesian cultures,
Hmm.
who also have really rich mythologies and traditions surrounding the ocean.
That's fascinating. And Polynesian navigation skills were legendary.
Right.
They were able to sail across vast distances using the stars, currents, even the flight patterns of birds. Could some of that knowledge have originated with a civilization like Ataria?
It's a thought-provoking question, isn't it?
It really does make you wonder. Yeah. About the connections between these ancient stories and real-world cultures. It's like these myths and legends could be holding clues to our past, just waiting to be deciphered.
Right. And that brings us to a really fascinating concept called mythogeography.
Mythogeography.
Yeah, it's basically where myths and stories are woven together with real places and landscapes, adding this whole new layer of meaning and understanding.
Mythogeography. I love that term. It sounds like a blend of history, mythology, and a good dose of imagination. Can you give me an example of how it works in practice?
Okay, sure. Think about the legends of King Arthur and Camelot. Historically speaking, there's no concrete evidence that King Arthur actually existed.
Right.
But the stories surrounding him are deeply intertwined with the landscape of Britain. Places like Glastonbury, Tintagel Castle, even Stonehenge, these myths have basically become part of the cultural fabric of those locations, shaping how people perceive them and adding this sense of mystery and intrigue.
Ah, so it's like the stories give those places a deeper resonance, a connection to something beyond the physical structures themselves. They spark our curiosity and make us wonder, what if?
Hmm.
And in the case of Zealandia, the story of Ataria is doing just that. It's encouraging us to look at this submerged continent and imagine all the possibilities.
Exactly. It's like the fictional account is adding this human dimension to the scientific exploration. We can learn all about the geology and the fossils, but the story of Ataria gives us this glimpse into what life might have been like on this lost continent. It makes the science more relatable, more engaging, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's like having a narrative thread to follow, a story to weave together all the scientific facts. It helps us connect with Zealandia on a deeper level, to see it not just as a submerged landmass, but as a place that could have once teemed with life and culture. And speaking of culture, this brings up another intriguing question. Could there be any lingering traces of Ataria in existing cultures today? I mean, if they were such skilled navigators and had potentially spread throughout the Pacific, wouldn't there be some echo of their culture in the traditions and beliefs of other Pacific Island societies?
It's definitely a possibility worth considering. I mean, think about the intricate navigational techniques of Polynesian cultures, their deep knowledge of the stars, currents, even the flight patterns of birds. Could some of that knowledge have been passed down from a civilization like Ataria? It's a pretty tantalizing thought, tracing the faint whispers of a lost civilization through the echoes of their culture in modern societies.
It's like following a trail of breadcrumbs through time, trying to piece together a puzzle that's been scattered across this vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. And while we might never have definitive proof, the possibility is enough to spark our imaginations and fuel further exploration.
And then there's the potential for underwater archaeology. What if we could find submerged settlements on Zealandia? Structures, artifacts, tangible evidence of their existence. That would be a monumental discovery.
Imagine uncovering the ruins of an Atarian temple, adorned with intricate carvings that tell stories of their culture and beliefs. It would be like opening a window into a lost world.
It really would. It would be a game changer, reshaping our understanding of human history in the Pacific. And the ongoing research on Zealandia could provide more clues. As scientists map the submerged landscape, analyze core samples, study the geological history, they might find evidence that supports the feasibility of a civilization like Ataria having existed. Think about the discovery of the Yonaguni Monument off the coast of Japan. It's a massive underwater rock formation that some believe to be an ancient man-made structure.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. It's so mysterious, with its perfectly straight edges and geometric shapes. Some say it's a natural formation, but others believe it could be evidence of a lost civilization. Could there be something similar hidden beneath the waves of Zealandia just waiting to be discovered?
It's certainly possible, and with advancements in underwater technology, we're better equipped than ever to explore these depths and uncover the secrets they hold.
This is why I love these deep dives. They always leave me with more questions than answers, but in the best way possible. It's like we're peeling back layers of history and mystery, revealing glimpses of worlds we never knew existed. But let's pause for a moment and consider what we've learned so far. We've explored the scientific marvel of Zealandia, a continent hidden beneath the waves, a testament to the dynamic forces that have shaped our planet. We've delved into the intriguing story of Ataria, a fictional civilization that challenges us to imagine the possibilities of human history and the echoes of the past that might linger in present-day cultures.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing. We've also explored the concept of mythogeography, where stories and landscapes intertwine, enriching our understanding of both. And we've touched on the potential for underwater archaeology to uncover tangible evidence of past civilizations, revealing secrets hidden beneath the waves. It's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's also incredibly exciting. It's a reminder that there's still so much to discover, so many mysteries yet to be unraveled. It really makes you wonder what other secrets are out there,
Yeah.
hidden beneath the waves, not just in Zealandia, but all over the world.
It really is a humbling thought when you think about it. We think we've mapped and explored every corner of our planet, but there are these vast realms still shrouded in mystery, particularly the depths of our oceans. And those depths could hold clues to our past, lost civilizations, maybe even the origins of life itself.
Wow. Okay, so we've explored the science, the fascinating story of Ataria, and this potential for blending fact and fiction to really deepen our understanding.
Mm.
What should our listener be pondering as they, walk away from this deep dive?
Well, first and foremost, I hope they come away with a sense of wonder about Zealandia. It's a remarkable discovery, really challenges our understanding of continental boundaries, and just reminds us that there's so much we don't know about our own planet.
It's like Earth is constantly revealing these new secrets, reminding us that we're still just scratching the surface.
Exactly. And while the story of Ataria is fictional, it serves as a powerful reminder that history is full of mysteries and untold stories. It encourages us to think creatively about the past and to consider the possibility that there are entire civilizations waiting to be rediscovered beneath the waves.
Yeah. It also makes you think about the fragility of civilizations, too.
Mm.
How even really advanced societies can be lost to time and forces of nature.
Yeah.
It's a humbling thought, but also a reminder of how important it is to preserve our own history and culture for future generations.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, I think the biggest takeaway is the power of imagination. Whether we're talking about scientific exploration or storytelling, the ability to imagine, to speculate, to connect the dots in new and unexpected ways, that's what drives discovery and expands our understanding of the world.
It's like having the childlike curiosity,
Hmm.
a willingness to just ask, what if? And then explore those possibilities. No limits.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe one day, thanks to advances in underwater archaeology or some other breakthrough, we'll find concrete evidence of Ataria, or another lost civilization hidden beneath the waves of Zealandia.
Now, that would be the ultimate plot twist. Okay, before we wrap up, I have one final thought-provoking question for our listeners. Imagine you're an underwater archaeologist. You're down there exploring the depths of Zealandia. What kind of artifacts would you be most excited to find? What would be the most compelling evidence that a civilization like Ataria actually existed? It's a fun one to ponder, isn't it?
It really is. It speaks to that allure of the unknown, the mysteries that beckon us to explore further, to delve deeper, to keep asking questions and searching for answers.
Well said. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Zealandia, the lost continent, and the civilization that may have called it home. Big thanks to you for navigating these uncharted waters with us.
It was my pleasure. Always love exploring these fascinating mysteries.
And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and left you with a sense of wonder about the hidden depths of our planet and the untold stories that are out there. If you're eager to learn more about Zealandia, we'll have some links in the show notes to get you started on your own exploration. Until next time, keep diving deep, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to uncover the next great mystery.